Hello everyone, and welcome to my very first video of TK Talks, my new YouTube channel which we talk about things. Now most of this channel will consist of lore breakdowns and character breakdowns. Think of Star Wars Theory, who is a YouTuber I look up to a lot. However, I am also going to be reviewing fun Star Wars toys and figures and things like that. And today we are going to be reviewing the brand new Stormtrooper Nerf blaster. And we're going to be discussing Star Wars toys today and really the past, the present, and the future of Star Wars toys today with this video. Now this is actually a re-release of the Imperial Death Trooper blaster they released back in 2016 for the release of Rogue One. And this blaster was re-released actually 2 different times before this. They released it as a Mandalorian-themed Death Trooper blaster, where they kind of changed the gray, and the original blaster was red and gray, and I'm going to have a video or a picture of that on screen now. I really didn't like the red at all on the blast. It made it look like, especially nowadays, now that we know what they look like, the Sith Trooper blasters. I didn't really like the red. Now, obviously, they couldn't make it all black due to legal reasons. However, I think it would have been cool if they did, like, you know, a different color other than red for the standard blaster. The other re-release, though, was the Nerf Death Trooper Deluxe Blaster, which was a Toys R Us exclusive, also released in 2016, though people didn't really see it in stores until early 2017. I never got that version, though I really wish I did, because it actually came with a scope attachment and a stock attachment, which were repaints of the First Order attachments, and they are great attachments. I really wish this one came with a scope. That is the only complaint I really have about this blaster. But yeah, this is the re-release, and this is the best paint job I've ever seen, because this, honestly, in my opinion, does not look like the Death Trooper blaster, the F11D. The barrel thing here is way too short, and it kind of matches up with this, which is why I'm very happy that they finally released this as a Stormtrooper blaster, because as you can see, it's pretty close to the source material E11 blaster rifle. The Death Trooper blaster in lore is known as the E11D, which is a modified E11, and really this just looks like a standard E11, because the barrel needs to be longer, it needs to have the very different stock and back end, and really this has more E11 details than E11D details. So I'm very happy, because I really love Stormtroopers way more than Death Troopers. I love the E11 blaster rifle. In my opinion, it's the most iconic blaster in Star Wars, and I'm very happy to have this in my collection. As you can see here, I also got some Nerf darts that are from the new Nerf like Kids line, because they're orange, and that's close to red, and that will work well in this, as I am probably not going to be using these very often since these are rare. And we'll have to see how well this works as a glow, but some of the more recent Glowstrike blasters from Nerf, they don't really work that well. They honestly kind of, they don't really make the Nerf darts glow, and for Nerf Wars, you're going to want to use cheap blaster bolts like this. Yes, I call them blaster bolts. I'm sorry, I'm that much of a nerd. But these are orange, so these will work perfectly well with this blaster. If you wanted to go more clone aesthetic, you could get the Nerf, what is it, Elite 2.0 line, which has the blue blaster bolts with the orange tips. Those are very good Clone Trooper-esque darts if you want that, and this can actually work as a clone blaster if you really want it to. Like, if you wanted to do, like, if your kid wanted to dress up as a Clone Trooper for Halloween, and you needed an accessory for that, this is actually great because it doesn't come with a scope. So you could really use it as a clone blaster, or any other Stormtrooper blaster if you really wanted to. But anyway, let's get this thing open. We'll use our Sword of Exact Zero. If you've watched the Lego movie, you know the reference I'm talking about.
Robots, bring me the Sword of Exact Zero.
Yes, Lord Business.
So yeah, let's get this thing open. You always need to take extreme care when opening something like this up to preserve the packaging. So yes, I slashed it right there, but you know, is what it is, and we'll get a good look at the box after we get this thing out. I'm gonna get out the, I'm gonna take out the, darts a bit later. I'm not gonna spend any time taking that out right now. It's on something. Forgive me, this is my very first video, my very first unboxing. What are you on? Oh, here you are. Yeah, so here's the box, as you can see. Very nice artwork of some Stormtroopers, and then of course the Stormtrooper up in the front, which you guys have seen. But what's kind of hiding in the back is this, like, Death Star corridor here. Whoops. Lost the camera there. But yeah, very nice box art. It's called the Stormtrooper Triple Strike Blaster. However, I want to inform you that this is not actually like a shotgun. This is... It shoots 3 darts out of the barrel, and it shoots 1 at a time. And let me warn you that the 3rd dart often likes to pop out or not shoot as strong. So be warned on that. It's more or less like a 2-shot blaster, and again, it's 1 at a time. They don't shoot all the darts at once. That'd be cool if Star Wars made it like a shotgun-esque blaster, but this has, as you can see, blaster light effects. It also has pump action and laser blast sounds. Which we will get into. And the darts indeed glow. We're going to have to see if that's true or not after I figure out how to get the darts out without ruining the box. As these boxes are very nice for display. I really, really like them. I'm going to see if I can get these out, because I also don't want to damage not only the box, but I don't want to damage the darts either. Which might be impossible, but I'll work on that later. What we'll use in the meantime are these. So we're going to see how to get these open. I really don't like damaging Nerf darts. I really don't. And yes, I am 20, so some might think I'm too old for Nerf. In my opinion, no one's ever too old for Nerf gun, or any toys for that matter. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Yeah, we don't need to save this box. We can rip right open. Yeah, there we go. Let's just take out 3 of these, because that's all it... Excuse me? These gonna work? These are not normal Nerf. What? Extreme accuracy, speed. Hang on. These. Don't want to mess up the darts with the blaster here. Are these too big? Are these not compatible? They might not be compatible, guys. Well, that stinks. Okay, but let's talk about the blaster itself. That's kind of embarrassing that I got the wrong darts. Whoops. I didn't know Nerf completely redesigned their Nerf darts. That's kind of crummy. Let's take a look at the actual blaster. Oh, whoops. I forgot to take out the little attachment thing there. So, we are going to undo that. That is the ammo clip. There it goes. This thing is the power pack ammo clip thing that will clip into the side of the blaster. We're going to make sure we apply it properly. I think this is the right... Yes, it is. Oh, did I misplace that? Alright, let's see. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. Should just snap in. Once you snap it in, you're not going to take it out. It's not coming out. So you can't, like, role play with this in terms of, like... There you go. You just slap that in there. And there you have your little ammo clip. Obviously, you can't take it out, but you can, like, go, like... You know, pretend like you're reloading your blaster, which most of the time in Star Wars you're not going to do. In Battlefront, they just overheat and cool down. If you guys played Battlefront, I hope you have. Yeah, this feels really good. This is definitely one of the better Nerf guns in the Star Wars Nerf gun line. This is the best re-release, I really have to say. I love this paint job. You know what you could also use this as? You could use, if you find a good enough scope, you can use this as a first order blaster. Oh, very easily. It's not perfect, but it's like white and black, just like the first order rifles. Yeah, neon green. I wish the neon green bits were white, but that's a nitpick. That doesn't really bother me. I do like this. I do really, really like the red poking here. I think that looks much better than it did on the Death Trooper blaster, which it wasn't really that noticeable. I really, really like this gun. This, or should I say blaster? It's not even a gun, it's a blaster. It's a blaster, guys. That's what it is. I love this thing. This thing is great. The sound will obviously come out of the speaker, which is right here. It takes, I want to say, it probably says on the box, it takes 3 AAA batteries. Okay, I actually thought it took AA, but it takes AAA. Nice to know. But thankfully, the blaster comes with AAA batteries already pre-installed. So that's real good. It feels really comfortable in the hands. Definitely one of the more comfortable E11 toys to hold in a hand, especially if you're an adult hand. Or if you just have big hands and you're a kid. This is definitely one of the more comfortable E11 blasters to hold. I'm going to call it an E11. Guys, don't hate me for that. I know it's technically an E11D, but look at it. It's an E11 without the scope. It's not an E11D, guys. I mean, sure, the barrel's kind of fat, and sure, it has lines and stuff, like, you know, the holes and vents, but this is an E11. I'm not going to believe anything else because it's the size, it has the big stock, which the F11D isn't really supposed to have. It's an E11. It's a really good gun, too. I like how you use the folding stock to kind of pump load it. It's really, really nice, and let's get into the sound effects. Yeah, that's really, really satisfying. I really, really like the sound effects. Yes, it's not an E11 sound. Yes, it's not an F11D sound even, but it is a Star Wars sounding sound effect. Like, you could imagine this in Star Wars very easily, the sound. And it's a very, very satisfying sound. Honestly, even though we never really hear this in any of the movies or shows or anything, it's one of my favorite blaster sounds, I think. I'm being completely honest. And I think that's partially because it sounds kind of like Jango Fett's blaster sound. That sound is incredible, and this sounds kind of like that. It's not exact, but it's close enough. And yes, you can easily attach a Nerf scope on top of here, and a stock can actually be attached back here. I would recommend doing just the scope, especially for this blaster, since it's supposed to be a Stormtrooper blaster. But if you want to be like a modified Stormtrooper or just look really cool, you should attach a stock back there. Back on this thing. Classic, like, N-Series, Nerf Elite stuff. Yes, I grew up on Nerf. Nerf is great. Or it used to be. These darts stink. 1 out of 10 Nerf. This is not your normal Nerf dart. I don't know what these go in. They were falsely advertised because in the box it looked like they were normal. That's super sad. So, yeah. Probably gonna have to somehow return those or give them to Goodwill or something because I'm never gonna use them. Disappointment. But this blaster is really nice, and you can fire it as fast or as slow as you want, so you could, like, go. That's super fun. And yeah, the lights are super bright, and it follows the sound, and does, like, some flashes. It's a really, really nice Nerf gun. It's a really nice, and it's also, if you paint it up, if you have a scope, if you paint it up, it'll look like a nice prop, too, for, like, a cosplay or something. I went to MegaCon, saw Star Wars Theory there, and, you know, I had my Disney E11, but honestly, if I painted this up, I might take this next year. But I might paint up my other blaster, or I'm going to give my other blaster away. I actually don't really want to paint this one up. I kind of want to use this out in the public, or in a Nerf war or something. And for legal reasons, you have to keep it like this, with all the warnings and everything, with the Star Wars logo on it, and all of that. So I might as well just keep this the way it is. Maybe paint up the red one, or get another one to paint up. But this is a really comfortable thing to hold in your hands. Like, you could hold this all day, if you wanted to. And it's really nice. A really nice piece. Really enjoy it. Let's see if we can shoot it off. I'm gonna I'm trying to find some Nerf darts. I'll be right back. Alrighty, guys, so I'm back. As you can see, I just decided to take it out of the box. It's fine, I know these are rare, but I couldn't find anything else at the time being, so this is what we're gonna have to work with for now, and it's fine. These are fine darts. And now we can actually see if they work or not. So let's load the blaster up and actually see how it performs. This is my first time seeing it too. I know how the original performs, and it performs actually pretty well. But we're gonna have to see if the, springs are either better or worse or what. We're gonna have to see how it performs. So I'm loading it up right now. And so now I'm gonna show you how we prime and fire this thing. So yes, you just pump out the stock there, and this is what makes the blaster bolts charge up, and they glow a green color. So, yeah, we can't really get into a darker space right now, but if we shoot it right underneath my desk here, we should get a pretty decent idea of how powerful it is and how much these things actually glow. We'll have to see if they redeemed themselves, since Rise of Skywalker's glow darts didn't really work that well. So let's have a fire. Oh, they glow nicely. Oh, they've enhanced this technology. What's really fun is firing these at night or in a dark area in a Nerf battle. And it's like real lasers are whizzing around. It is so cool. I love these things. Alright, let's pump it up again. And we'll fire it off again. Yeah, they actually glow. And they don't hold their glow for very long. So, like, if you're playing outside or something, or in a big open room or something, be careful, as these are going to be hard to find afterward. For they only glow for, like, 5 or 10 seconds. As you can kind of see with that, it stopped glowing. So, be careful with that. I highly encourage you to be careful with these. For me, mostly, I'm not going to have the darts in here for most of the time. It's mostly just going to be, light and sounds blaster, because that's the props I grew up with. Alright, so let's fire our last shot. Yeah, that was very weak. The bottom barrel thing, it does not fire very powerfully. That's actually very underwhelming. That's more underwhelming than the red one. But the top two, they fire much better than the original Death Trooper blaster did. So that's some genuine improvement. Maybe I put it in wrong on the bottom one, who knows. I'll experiment more with that later, but this thing is really nice. I really, really like this. It feels great in the hand. When I get the proper scope, I'll probably make a YouTube short showcasing that. I will also upload my video of me actually, finding it in the store. And I'll show you my reaction, my first impressions. And it's funny, I'm like picking out which one has the best sounding sound and whatnot. I didn't care if it had like some scratches here. I just wanted the nicest and loudest sound. And I got that. This is so fun. I really like this. This is so fun. It makes me feel like a kid again. Yeah, because like I'm 20 now, and I got this blaster when I was like 12 or something, back when Rogue One came out, and like, oh man, it just gives me some nostalgia. But yeah, and I'm hoping, so now we're going to get into the part of the video where I talk about kind of the thoughts on Star Wars toys now, how they were back then, like back in 2016 and before, and kind of where we're going. And I have to say, our future is very, very bright, actually. For the past, like, 5 years, like, kind of since COVID, and a little bit before that with, like, Rise of Skywalker and all, Star Wars toys kind of took a turn for the worst, and they kind of made them either, like, very, very kiddie, whole bunch of Mandalorian, and specifically Grogu stuff, and yeah, they kind of took a turn for the worst. Figures were next to non-existent for younger kids, and if they weren't that posable. We basically went back to 1980s figures in terms of posability, like swivels at the arms, swivels at the legs, and barely any head articulation. They were basically statues. Now, for the action figure department, they're selling $10 figures and the $20 speeder bike and Scout Trooper, and the Scout Trooper is posable, and all figures in this toy lineup, I forget what it's called, like Power Force or something. all figures going forward are going to have basic articulation, like outward at the shoulders, so they don't just go like swivel up and down, you can go outward as well. There's like elbow joints, there's knee joints, and it's really good articulation for basic figures for kids, and I think that's so important. And not only that, but the Nerf guns, ever since Rise of Skywalker, they haven't really been touching Nerf guns, except for simple re-releases, but this was so big and in your face. I think Nerf guns are coming back. Glowstrike is back, and they went out with a really good one. Yes, this is like the third time they've re-released this, but I will say that this is probably a very good and safe blaster to re-release. I mean, everyone loves Stormtroopers. Stormtrooper blaster is very iconic. Yes, I wish they made a new mold for the E11, but this works. Again, the only complaint, no scope. They should have added a scope. Then you're perfect. If you added any Nerf gun scope, call it a day, painted it dark gray and white, just like this blaster, you would have had the perfect Nerf gun. This is probably a 9.5 out of 10 for me. It would have been a 10 out of 10 had it had the scope, but, I mean, it's still a great gun. Still a great Nerf blaster. Highly recommend picking it up. And, yeah, use it with care, use it safely, don't do anything illegal with this. Use it as your costume prop, whatever, don't, yeah. Things not to be said on YouTube, especially since this is relatively family-friendly. I have the videos set for not made for kids, so that people can comment, but they're family-friendly, don't worry. But this blaster, I would highly encourage for you to pick up for really any Star Wars fan who likes Nerf or blasters, also for your kids, and if you're a fan of Stormtroopers, definitely get this one. Even if you already have the Death Trooper blaster like myself, get this one. This paint job, in my opinion, is far superior, especially for just an Imperial blaster, as the mold is great for an E11, and you can use this for, like, a Scout Trooper cosplay, a Stormtrooper cosplay, obviously, or even, like, a Snowtrooper or any other Stormtrooper, really. Like, you can use this for anyone. I think anyone but a Death Trooper, to be completely honest, which is actually kind of silly. Another really good cosplay that you could do with this blaster is a Range Trooper from the Solo movie. This blaster would be perfect for that. But, yeah, it's a good gun. And Star Wars toys are really going in a bright direction, because from Rise of Skywalker, and Rogue One, and Solo, and The Last Jedi even, I feel like Star Wars toys kind of declined in that era, and then they really declined right at, like, during the Rise of Skywalker and the Mandalorian era, where, like, you got basically nothing, except for a couple of Grogus, you know, and, like, that was it. No Stormtrooper merchandise, no Darth Vader, or hardly any Darth Vader, which is kind of really wild to me. I'm like, what? No Darth Vaders? No Stormtroopers? And definitely, if you're a fan of the prequels like I am, you got no clones, you got no battle droids. Yeah, we were basically starved for, like, years. For, like, 5 years at least. Maybe more than that. But I'm glad that the Nerf guns have returned. I'm glad that basic articulation for action figures have returned. And kids have fun things again. I think kids deserve fun things. I think that's important. And even adults, or young adults, or teens, or, you know, collectors like myself, who kind of just want a little fun in their lives. Like, we want nice things, Hasbro, and you're finally giving us nice things. I love it. I am very happy with this. I hope you guys enjoyed my first video. I hope it wasn't too cringe. Leave some comments down below what you think would be a good scope attachment for this, if you guys are Nerf nerds. If you guys are Nerf herders. Kind of like myself. Tell me a good scope for this. I have one in mind that I'm going to get and going to try in the future. I'm probably going to wait and get that and earn a little more money first, but let me know if there's any other, and make sure that they're affordable, because what I want to get is something affordable, not only for myself, but so that I can guide other people for this blaster, because I know people are going to want a scope for this, because it's an E11, so let me know a good, affordable scope that will look good on this blaster and make it look like an E11. That'll be very helpful, because then I'll make a video on that. I'll make a short where I have that scope in hand, put it on the blaster, and we'll see how it looks, and I'll probably guide people to find or get that scope. I will say the classic sniper scope that we see Nerf have, it's too big. So don't give me any comments saying that. I have a few ideas on some scopes that will probably look decent or really good on this, but not the stereotypical sniper scope. If you search up Nerf scope, probably that #1 result that you see is going to be that sniper scope, and that one's not good. First of all, it's too big, and second of all, it's backwards. And backwards can look good if it's the right size, but that one's just so apparent, and it's like, it's backwards. So, no. Any of the big scopes, you can kind of get a good judge of the size, especially if I hold it out like this. And you're basically going to want it to be, let's pull up that box again. You're going to want it to basically be the size of that tactical rail. This is the size scope that I'm looking for. Let me know the name down below in the comments of the scope name and or the blaster that it comes with, and I'll look for that on like eBay or something. And would encourage anyone else who picks up this blaster to do the exact same. Look at the comment. I'll probably look through all of the comments that you guys post, and then I'll probably pin the best one so that other people that watch this video can easily find the right scope for this blaster. Because the blaster looks like an E11, it just needs that scope. Hasbro could have very easily repacked the First Order scope that they had included on the original 2015 First Order blaster rifle. But they didn't. I think if they did that, this really would have been a 10 out of 10. It's 9.5 out of 10 for me. Weak bottom bullet, but very, very powerful top 2 bullets. Very nice glow to them. Very nice sounds, and very good lights. And really, really great deco. I really, really like this deco a lot. This will look great for your kid, or your kid's costume, or even if you're an adult. This will actually be a great, like, go out in public. You don't really need to worry about, like, any illegal things with this one. If you just don't paint it, you can go out in public in this. You can go to, like, you know, a costume party, and this will work really, really well. I'm very pleased with Hasbro on this one. They did a great job. So, with all that being said, thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. This is TK Talks, standing by.